Hello everybody, welcome back to RoundSquare. My name is Doidle, and today we are doing something just a little bit different. So today, some of you may know, is April 14th, at least at the time of recording. Hopefully I'll get this up on the same day. But today is the anniversary of the Titanic striking the iceberg, which led to her demise. Now, I've always wanted to do something akin to a Titanic week, and I did actually have plans for this week because obviously the country is in complete lockdown at the moment, so I have plenty of time, and I did have a specific game in mind that I really wanted to play, the sort of quintessential game that everyone who does a Titanic week plays. Unfortunately, I can't get it to work, so I'm going to try and do a few different other little things. I don't know how many videos I'm going to do for this because this is purely experimental. Anyway, Titanic Honor and Glory is an upcoming video game project which has been in development for several years, very much a passion project. The goal of which is to completely historically recreate the ship, both inside and out, in a level that is as historically accurate as is physically possible. Now, a lot of people will say, oh yeah, this has been done before, you know, everyone knows what the Titanic looked like inside and out, loads of studios and documentary makers, etc. have done this, but this goes one step further because so much of what we see in the media and have seen is pure speculation, and research has only taken people so far, and there's basically, to put it simply, there is a lot of guesswork that goes into trying to recreate the ship. So we're just going to jump right in and see what kind of adventure we have in store for us.
First the train from London to Liverpool, then a short trip to the docks where I boarded the ferry to Dublin, then the long train ride through Ireland to Belfast. Not a bad ride, but
we're in the Harland and
excruciatingly
Wolff
long.
dockyards.
Check in at the guest house in the town proper, quick supper, quick sleep, quick breakfast, and a hop on the local train here to the Harland and Wolff shipyard. Fortunately, it was punctual. I was worried about being tardy for being 3 hours early. My darling Claire always said to me, "Robin, you better get out of the house right now and go be useful for someone." She always
where the
did
ships were
lovingly
built.
encourage me to show up to
And I
work
think
early
that might
and
be,
give my best effort.
I don't know if that's our one or if that is going to be for where they are building the Britannic. Lots of scaffolding there. Interesting.
Titanic is likely no different from the Olympic. They're structurally identical. The Olympic underwent these trials months ago, so this should be a simple repeat.
Oh, look at that.
I board, observe her during the sea trials, vote aye or nay on her certification, and then I ride her back to Southampton. Come on, Robin, you can't mess this one up, as Claire always told me.
Yeah, let's heed Claire's advice. Oh, look at this. Doop. Gently step down. And here we are. Oh, look at that. How fantastic. So here we are. We are Robin. We are here to assess the Titanic for her sea trials. It is officially 1 week before she is set for her maiden voyage, and she's not even a certified ship yet. Oh, just look at that. Isn't that something? They've even managed to get the curve in, running from bow to stern. Oh, I love it.
Let's look at the positive. The weather broke, and now I've been given the opportunity to board the Titanic advance of the trials. This gives me a bit of time to really admire the beauty of the ship before I have to scrutinize every last aspect of her functionality.
Look at that. Oh, it's so beautiful. So beautiful. Every single angle that you look at this from is a screenshot. Oh, look at that. And it's got the sun beaming out behind her. Oh, that's so perfect. So we are here to inspect the Titanic for her sea trials and make sure that she is actually fit for service. So, ooh, what's this? Notice, these shipyards are dangerous and therefore off limits to all non-employees. If you are here, it is with the express permission of Harland & Wolff Limited or the officers of Titanic Honour and Glory. All environments are still under construction and will be improved for the final project. Neither Harland & Wolff Management nor the officers of Titanic Honour and Glory are responsible for any injury to non-employees resulting from falling debris, flying rivets, or the misuse of tools on these premises. Oh, look at it! Now, I have played the demo before. This is honestly very much old news. I think this came out in 27...
I had better find my way aboard. But I suppose there isn't reason for too much haste. No one else has even arrived yet, it seems. Plenty of time to explore, if I desire.
Plenty of time to snoop. Yeah, I think this came out in 2017, off the top of my head. And, just look at that. And there's the rest of the dockyards behind us.
I'm quite surprised by the amount of confidence the industry is placing into this ship. She's not even certified yet, and her first ticketed voyage is just a week from now. No room for failure on these trials, I suppose. It's like getting dressed up for a date when you haven't even begun your courtship yet. How do you know if you'll be rejected or not? I learned that one the hard way.
Oh, Robin. So for some reason we have to cross these, flats. I'm not entirely sure why, but hey-ho. What's in here? Are these toilets? Oh yeah, they're little outhouses. Yeah. This is where you make your peeps and poops. God, look at that. That is something else. So although I've played this before, I certainly haven't touched it for, well, since it came out. So this is all very much sort of new to me again. I've forgotten most of the things. I just know that we board the ship. And just, oh, look at that. These are angles that you'd never see in the photographs, in the illustrations. Oh, that's amazing. There's the rest of the docks behind us. There's a little slipway there. Look at that. Again, this would just make a good, I don't know, postcard, desktop. Just every single angle is just a framed piece of art
Belfast
already.
Lock is beautiful. With the hills around it and the morning fog, it reminds me of what I always imagined Puget Sound would be like. A man sure can make a living out in Seattle, if he can hold off the plague.
Right, let's head on down. Look at that. I don't know whether my talking just ruins it or not. What's in here? Is this another poo house? Yes.
Reminds me of my childhood in Sheffield.
Oh, shitty. Look at that! Look at that! Oh! Every single angle is something that you've not seen before of the ship.
I see they're doing all they can to extend my travel time. How do I find my way through this mess?
Could just move some of it out of the way, I suppose, but that would be too easy. So I think for this demo, as I recall, I think they modelled a ship for the docks, which we are seeing now, obviously, and then I think they modelled a separate ship for when you actually board the ship. So obviously all the interiors, etc., are going to be not rendered at the moment. Look at that. And again, more angles that you just don't see of the ship. Look at that view to the bow. Oh, that is incredible. Right, let's not get distracted. Slowly making our way to the gangway. Oh, look at that. How stunning is that? The tiniest little details have not been ignored. So I don't know where to look going on boarding the ship. Just look at that. Amazing. Right.
They couldn't simply move these signs out of the way.
What?
This vessel has triple screws. Yes, I feel the same way right now too, thank you.
What? This isn't how it's supposed to be. Look, there's me making a big fuss about it. I forgot, you don't even board this way. You have to board through that tiny little... that tiny little gangway down there. I bet, I can honestly guarantee, if we arrived, you know, not at ridiculous o'clock earlier than we were supposed to, then none of this would be here. Now, I know for a fact that they did this just so that you could see, you could appreciate all the different angles that you can view the ship from. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Oh, look, another screenshot right there. Just move these out the way, Robin. Look at that. Belfast lock. Gosh. Look at that. Look at that. Have we made it? Ah, we made it. Okay.
Since the aft gangway is blocked, I'll board here through the first class.
Look at that. You can see all the rivets. Oh. That must be absolutely deafening. Stoop, mind your head. Notice, any workman leaving the ship, except by proper gangway, will be instantly dismissed. W.J. Pirrie. Yes. So it's time to say goodbye to the exterior models and head on in. And here we are, inside the Titanic. That's a lot of blur. Hold on, I might just have to turn that down. Right. Let's get exploring. So we've just entered the first class entrance to the ship. There is sunny Belfast out there. Oh, just look at the sheer amount of detail that's in everything.
Most first-class spaces should be accessible at the moment, but I may be able to venture down to third class for a spell through Scotland Road on E-deck.
Look at that.
I believe I'm boarding before anyone else. Robin, right now you're the most handsome man on the Titanic.
Take what I can get. Look at this. This is just... Fuck me! That scared me. Why is it that every single Titanic game has to have a jump scare somewhere? Anyway, what I was going to say, one thing that I really appreciate about this project is that they do put a lot of emphasis on the technical aspect of the ship. So it's not just, oh, look how pretty everything is. They, you know, it's very much it's almost like a tech demo for the ship herself. So now we're free to walk around the ship. And as you can see, there's still a lot of construction going on. Now this is actually very important to note, because even though it's only a week to go until her maiden voyage, there is the ship is still very much being fitted out in certain aspects. Furniture is being brought in, painting is being done. There are several accounts of things like panels being put in, electrical wiring, etc. You know, the ship was very much... Not a second was wasted, it seems. Gosh, just look at this. Look at this. Oh, it's like a Grand Hotel or something. I can almost smell how new everything is. I can smell the paint. I can smell the carpet. It's just... Look at that. Oh. The D-deck reception room. In this room, first-class passengers would meet before entering the dining saloon for dinner. After dinner, tea and light fare would be served as the orchestra played the tunes of the day. Just look at the sheer amount of detailing on the woodwork, on the plasterwork, on the light fittings. Look at that. Gosh. That's brilliant. I could honestly spend all day just looking at all the tiny, tiny little details that they've put into this. Gosh, look at that. Oh, and it's like, again, you've got another screenshot, you've got another desktop. I swear this is something that Spamwell said in one of his videos, actually. But it's so true. Look at this. And it's like, okay, fair enough, yes, we've seen many reproductions of the interiors, especially of the first class areas, but compared to this, you know, there's something about this which is just, it feels so much more alive. It's just wonderful. Look at that. Steinway Model B grand piano. Look at that. All that intricate woodwork. Oh, look. And you know, it's little things like this. Having the window open, for example. You have all these, the reception room is lined with these gorgeous stained glass windows, and then on the other side of it, yes, you have the portholes. You can see into the area, into the space itself. You know, you can see the joints, the rivets. It's not just for show, if that makes sense. You can see how the ship was pieced together. It's like, oh, someone's left their lunch there. Some sandwiches, yummy. It's just little things like this, just fill it with life. Like even the detailing on these little planters. That's insane. Look at the detail on the flooring. Just, oh. You can see into the dining saloon there, aside from the, now you can see into the dining saloon. Look at that. And again, these are all views of Titanic which no one has seen. They've never been recreated until now, and especially recreated with such loving detail. Lots of paint around. Look at this. How fantastic. So they just went all out, basically. Oh, we can actually go in! We can go in!
I especially commend them for modifying the bulkhead. I never cared much for what was on the Olympic.
Ah, see, okay, so this is actually, that's very important, because during their research, the team working on this discovered that there was a slight difference between the divider right here from the Olympic to the Titanic, purely because no one had ever seen it before. Obviously, by the time Titanic was ready to sail, the Olympic class of liners they were old news. All of the press photographs and all the artistic representations, they were all done of Olympic instead because she was the first. So the only view that we had until very recently was of Olympic. And I think it was actually the inclusion of these windows, I believe, which the team discovered were actually there when they were going through some of the plans. And that was a fact, that was a little fact that no one had ever noticed. And that's just one of the small, tiny details that made the ship unique. Look at that! And again, you know, okay, everyone's played Titanic Adventure Out of Time, but, I mean, look at this! This is filled with so much life! Look at this, all of the different cutlery, utensils, you've got your napkins, you've even got menu cards out. How fantastic. Thankfully there's no collision on these chairs, because otherwise I'd have a real difficult time getting around here. Oh look, there's a fan up there! Oh, how fantastic. Just look. A little serving plate, or is that a hot plate? I'm not sure. But look at this. Again, another view which no one has ever seen recreated of the ship. There's just so many details that no one knew about. that no one would have ever seen. Oh, I'd love to be sat either right here on this table, maybe the window is ever so slightly ajar, and you have a sea breeze coming in ever so gently. Just how gorgeous is that? How absolutely fantastic. And again, just the tiny details with the lighting, for example. Some of the lights are on, some of them are off. Small little things like that really add life to this. Oh, I can't go any further than this way. Look, there's another piano over there. I believe the first class dining saloon was also used for the church services, for religious services on Sundays. So I'm assuming that they would move all the tables out the way and arrange the chairs maybe up. I'm guessing it would take place sort of centrally in here. How fantastic. And, you know, these are all things that I had no idea were here. I've seen so many documentaries, I've seen so many photographs, recreations, illustrations, representations of all manner, and I've never seen the ship like this before. This actually makes it feel alive. You can see people living here. You can imagine it being functional. You can imagine people working here, mulling around and talking with each other, going about their business. But it looks like this is all we can explore of this area, so we're going to return back to the reception room. Look at all that gorgeous lighting. Oh, and of course there are plants everywhere, which just makes me so happy. This is such a different vibe, because my main experience of the D-Deck reception room for Titanic, first class areas, is from Titanic Adventure Out of Time. And it's near midnight, it is really dark, all the lights are off, it's creepy as all hell. Oh, look at that, another perfectly framed, everything, every single angle in this game is a work of art. And you could just get a feel for all the organic shapes that are taking place here. You don't see this when people do recreations. So we're on C deck now. A lot of people will recognise this from Adventure Out of Time, I'm sure. C deck, the clock will be set backward at midnight 49 minutes. So this is all very important because the clocks on the Titanic, the clocks on any ship going transatlantic, were people's way of making sure that they were in the right time zone. So as the clocks would be adjusted each day, that's how everyone with a pocket watch, for example, would know when to change theirs as they were moving into different time zones as they sailed across the ocean, which is just, so fantastic. And again, this is something which we wouldn't know about if these people weren't doing all this incredible research. Look at that, the sheer detailing! I can only imagine what the poly count of the high poly model version of this would be like. And the ironwork on the stairs, so many recreations of the ship get that wrong. Oh, it's just amazing. Just so amazing. Now, I have a horrible, spooky feeling. No, that's not what I thought. I'm such a moron. Okay, I'm a little on edge. You'll see why at some point. I don't remember if it's...
Soon this area will be bustling with passengers, anxiously sending telegrams and complaining about the most trivial of matters. I consider it a blessing that I will not be around to witness that.
Absolutely. God, look at that! I swear that there was a jump scare here because it got the purser from the yeah, I think as if let's just get it over with. Here he comes. Woo, fucking hell. it still gets me. Okay. So some of you might recognize this little fellow as the purser from Adventure Out of Time. Every single time, it still gets me just a tiny little bit. It's just uncanny and freaky because he's just a 2D plane, comes out of nowhere. I don't like that. Gosh. And look at this, we've got another look into the tiniest little corridor here. Again, something that you just don't see. People don't tend to care about these things when they're doing recreations because they think people don't want to see this. But these are the intimate parts of the ship. This is where people would be. This is what people would be seeing, you know.
The lifts are out of order. That's fine. Real men don't take lifts. Lifts are for women, Claire says. Robin, take the long way up.
Wow. Your wife sounds like a bully. Amazing. It's so weird to look down at these first-class areas. And again, I keep bringing this up. You see representations of things like the corridors. I keep saying it, Adventure Out of Time. They show it in a very particular way. It looks so different to this. And the one thing that I've really noticed is just how small these corridors are. It's so cramped and labyrinthian. You can really understand why so many people struggled to find their way up to the boat decks. Like, look at the space between these two rooms here, these two cabins. It's tiny. Right, well, I think this is a good place to leave it for this first one. I didn't expect that this would become a two-parter, but there's just so much to see and so much to talk about. So, I will see you guys in the next one. As always, please remember to stay safe, and I'm going to see you guys in the next one. Have a great day, everyone!